I'm not really sure how I feel about Pulpit Friction. This is the 18th episode of the 24th season of The Simpsons, directed by Chris Clements and Mike B. Anderson, and it starts off really wonderfully, really interestingly. The couch gag turns into the episode. I can't say for certain that that's never happened before, but I can't remember a time when it did, and I thought that that was just pretty good fun, and I really liked it. And the Simpsons family get a new couch, and they get bed bugs, and I have to say the way the bed bugs are animated, disgusting, amazing, but disgusting, very creepy, and I thought that that was really well done. And then one thing leads to another, and Homer becomes a deacon at the church, and there's a new Reverend Elijah Hooper, voiced by Edward Norton, and I did like the fact that this character kept referencing films. I thought that was pretty good, helping people to realise the messages in the Bible through popular fiction and pop culture. I think it helps. We know Reverend Lovejoy doesn't really get through to the majority of people. This new Reverend had a slightly different approach. However, I feel like having this Reverend there felt forced. It really felt like that part of the narrative wasn't fleshed out very well. And then Homer's involvement just felt unnecessary. I don't think it added much, and I didn't really care for it. I didn't hate it. It's not that I minded Homer being in that role. I just don't think they dealt with it very well. I don't think they handled it very well. And it just wasn't very interesting. There's also a subplot with Marge having lost her wedding dress, and that part of it was not very well developed, not very well written. Most episodes do need a B plot of some kind just to have a decent structure. But sometimes I feel like the B plots are not always necessary. This one just added nothing. Well, to be fair, it added a nice thought between Marge and Lisa about Marge wanting Lisa to get married, Lisa not wanting to get married. Maybe it shows that mother and daughter are not always going to see eye to eye about that kind of thing, but other than that, I felt like it wasn't very fascinating, it didn't add anything, and then the main narrative just felt forced. It felt like they hadn't found a proper way to tell this story, so they just threw a bunch of stuff at it and hoped for the best. But the bedbug scenes, and ultimately what Bart and Milhouse did, which I won't share, but what they did, I thought played out really well. So those bits, the bookends of this episode were great. The start was great, the end was great. The middle didn't really add anything. I could have basically watched the entire episode just by watching the beginning and the end, and I would have lost nothing. So there were bits in it that I liked, but beyond that, it's a very, very weak episode.